Thank goodness, finally some good news finally. Jeff Bezos steps down as Amazon boss in 2004. Jeff Bezos and his technical advisor Colin Breyer drove together to the city of Tacoma, an hour south of Seattle in Washington state. At that time Amazon was a multi-billion-dollar company. However, they were headed to Amazon's customer services center, where they were to spend 2 days as customer service agents. Remember Dirty Harry and what he said about personnel law? Jeff was actually taking the calls himself. Breyer says he recalls that a complaint on one product in particular kept coming in. Jeff's eyes went wide. He says, "Oh, he's a lemur now as well as a demon, wonderful." Bezos was frustrated. Oh, like the drivers who are forced to defecate on the street, go figure, give a man power and all. That there was clearly something wrong with the product. But it hadn't been escalated. Later that day he sent out an email asking for more efficient ways of flagging faulty products. Jeff Bezos as faulty. Bezos steps down from Amazon on Monday, exactly 27 years after he founded it. In that time he has developed a series of unusual leadership principles which is, I bet, how to enslave your fellow human beings, I bet, which some argue are the backbone of his success. Others believe they speak to everything that is wrong with big tech. Talk to anyone who's ever worked at Amazon, and you don't have to wait long before you hear the phrase, customer obsession. For Bezos, profit was a long-term aspiration. Yeah, it shows at the expense of people's dignity. For a company to be successful, it had to have happy customers. At almost any cost, yeah, scratch that, any cost including your soul. Nadia Shurabura started working for Amazon in 2004. She went on to be invited into the elite S team of Amazon managers, the senior managerial board. But when she first started, she thought she was going to be immediately fired. "I made the biggest mistake of my life during our Christmas peak," she says. Yeah, live. Shurabura had ordered key products onto warehouse shelves that were too high. It would take time and money to get the right products off the shelves. Rookie mistake kid. "I came up with a clever way for us to lose as little money as possible and sort of fix the problem. But when I talked to Jeff about it, he looked at me and said, 'You're thinking about this all wrong. Yeah man, you need to screw over more people. You're thinking how to optimize money here. Fix the problem for customers. And then come back to me in a few weeks and tell me the cost. Yeah, work humans like machines till they are near death," Bombshell claims. Bezos has many critics. Y'all think understatement of the year last month. A Bombshell article from ProPublica claimed to have seen Bezos' tax returns, and alleged Mr. Bezos paid no tax in 2007 and 2011. It was a stunning claim about the world's richest man. Other negative stories about Amazon: its ruthlessness. Its claims of monopolistic behavior haven't helped Bezos' reputation. However, many people who work closely with him don't recognize the characterization that he is uncaring or selfish. Yeah, because they got theirs of the top. Who cares about the dregs, the little man? For them he is a business visionary. A man with singular focus who has created a legendary work. Philosophy and a company worth almost $1.80 TRN. £1.3 trillion. Bezos likes small teams. He has a rule to keep meetings productive. Make sure you can feed the whole group with 2 pizzas. Sounds like those African warlords. He hates PowerPoint presentations, preferring instead written memos for executives to discuss. To the point without useless words. Admirable. To avoid dominant personalities having too much sway, he'll sometimes go round each person at a meeting, asking how they feel about a question. Yeah, right. And people who know him say he likes those who push back. "We would argue, and we would scream at each other," says Shurabura. "Man, that sounds real toxic. Why don't they solve their issues with machetes?" Everything is very open and on the table, and the conversations get heated and very passionate. But it's about the subject, never against the person, she says. Amazon has a set of 14 leadership principles. One of those speaks of having the backbone to disagree. Well, I disagree with drivers forced to poo on the street. And it seems Bezos genuinely wants to foster that culture at a higher level. Leaders should not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. In other words, everyone can jump off a cliff, the principle says. There are questions, however, about whether that philosophy is always interpreted correctly down the chain at Amazon. In 2015, the New York Times published an article with claims of a bruising work culture from former employees. Bezos is a fan of engineering, inventions, machines. He's obsessed with metrics, not a bad trait in the world of logistics. But critics say that obsession has human costs, particularly in Amazon's numerous warehouses. Yeah, usually human lives. During the failed attempt by Amazon workers in Bessemer, Alabama, to form a union, I spoke to many workers who said they felt like a cog in a machine. Others would describe the feeling of being constantly monitored, yeah, because he spies at more senior levels. However, Bezos' management style appears different. He likes his teams to have autonomy, which he believes fosters innovation. Hey, Voices of Narrat style. Amazon Web Services, AWS. The astoundingly successful cloud computing service. On the face of it, didn't have much to do with Amazon's core business, e-commerce. However, Bezos backed the idea, giving his trusted employee Andy Jassy the freedom and capital to go about creating a company within a company. Bezos views Jassy as an entrepreneur, not just a manager, a key part of why he will take over as Bezos' successor. It will just like when Bezos left, then we will all be talking about him for working people like bee drones till they pass into the great beyond, picking up daisies. It's easy to be brave when you're a startup, says Shurabora. As you grow, it gets harder and harder to be brave, because now you're risking a lot. He was always very brave. Sure. And Steve Urkel founded Britain. People who know him say that Bezos likes to approach problems backwards. It's a very specific process at Amazon, says Breyer. Yeah, like human dignity. In the planning stage, teams will do a reverse timeline. Start with what a launch would look like, and then work backwards. The first thing the team does is write a press release, which is usually the last thing companies write. That makes sense if you're a Time Lord from Doctor Who. This plays into Bezos' view of time. It's something he thinks about a lot. He's installed a $42 million, 30 million pounds, 10,000-year clock in a hollowed-out mountain in Texas. It's supposed to represent the power of long-term thinking. He's a long way from human decency. And to the fair, Bezos has always approached business with the long game in mind. People close to him often use the word methodical to describe the customer obsession over short-term profits. Always fascinated by space travel. Later this month, he aims to fly into space on the first crewed flight made by his company Blue Origin. He's going to space away from us, to bad it's not permanent. A petition to not allow him back to Earth has gathered nearly 150,000 signatures. Really only that much? It should say 2 million. But like him or loathe him, Bezos has proved an extremely bright and able leader, someone who has changed the way companies around the world operate. Yeah, and he also caused more than 140,000 serious injuries. Well, that enough on that devil. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Peace out y'all. Don't kill yourself working. The companies don't care, they will replace you in less than a heartbeat.